I just finished a very good cry. Very necessary, needed cry. Oh my gosh. People are happier in the world. People are happy that you're in the world. Like, I spent so much time feeling rejected, feeling the negative emotions of my community, of my family, and wanting to help other people get past those feelings of rejection. But then I forget that getting past those feelings of rejection and loving yourself is very important. Yes, it's also important to acknowledge the ways that you are also still loved by other people in spite of that rejection. This whole time, like, I've been thinking that, like, I come from a hateful, spiteful community, and I forgot how loved I am from everybody within it, and even the people who don't. And I can't even really name many now that I think about it, other than my really conservative auntie who lives across the sea. Not one of them I can think of are against me. And it was really hard for me to remove that connotation of everybody. And I was gonna make a video about this, but it makes it even clearer about how I'm gonna talk about it later. But like, I took critical thinking as a mandatory class in my first year. One of the ones that stuck with me was a hasty generalization. That is like an error. that is invalid thinking when it comes to critical thinking. And that is having an experience and deeming it as everybody. Feeling that hatred and rejection and assigning those sentiments to everybody from my community has made me feel nothing but isolated. And obviously, partly that wasn't my fault. Like, my parents did try to hide me from everyone with this insinuation that, like, if they did know what I was like as a kid, if they did know what was going on with me, nobody would want to be around me. And I kept that. I held on for that for so long, and I'm tired of being jaded. I'm so sick of being jaded, because I found out very recently that people do really care about me. They really love me, and they want to know how I'm doing, and they see what I'm doing, and they're proud of me. And yes, I do have that one auntie who called my mom being like, your kid shouldn't be talking on the internet like that. She shouldn't be speaking. But there's other people who are like, I'm proud of her. And instead of acknowledging those people, I was so hyper-fixated on how this one auntie thinks and how I need to prove her wrong. It's exhausting. Like, literally, fuck you. Butthurt is like, what? I don't care. What is this? Who are you? Stanley! That's one of my family members. You just started following my TikTok because I'm loved. I'm so loved. And I thank God for that, because the course trajectory I was about to go on wasn't for me. It wasn't meant for me. The way that I was going to execute this next series of my podcast, my videos, how I show up on the internet, how I create content, was going to be very different if I hadn't come to this. And I wasn't planning on calling my sister, so I thought she was going to talk me out of my next moves. And I'm so glad she did, because she just reminded me of how loved I am. Sometimes we forget, in spite of that adversity, that love isn't just meant to come internally, that it is external from us. We just have a hard time remembering those people exist when we're so hyper fixated on that hasty generalization created by those 1-2 people that made us feel bad about ourselves. Fuck that. I was thinking for a while, I stopped posting on my YouTube because I was so fixated on my podcast too. Like, I can't post unless I got my hair done and my makeup. Fuck that too. Hi. This is me. And yeah, I have a bit of a potty mouth. And yeah, I talk about sex, and that's okay. Because there's people who love me anyway. And there's people who love you anyway. And that is the whole point of this authenticity journey. That is what I've been trying to portray for the longest time on my podcast. For the longest time. For the past few weeks of it, as I've been posting. That is what I've been trying to portray. And there's still parts of it that I wasn't seeing myself that I need to do. I'm glad I got so bold on my thoughts of opinions of our societal norms that I will continue to speak on those. but I wasn't really internally, like, internalizing the message I was giving. I wasn't feeling like I was worthy or deserving of it myself still, as much as I was giving that message to other people. And I'm just like, this is real. This is me. I'm loved unconditionally. You are loved unconditionally. And anybody who doesn't have that feeling, who doesn't feel that way, doesn't need to be part of the party anyway. Whatever, man. My mom loves me. She supports me. I have cousins who are out and about, DJing, artistry, openly queer. There's still so many people in my community that don't know about my identity in so many ways, because I actually posted I was so sick of this update. Instagram, when you post Instagram now, you know how it posts to your Facebook stories. I post about my podcast, and I was too scared of my family, any of my aunties and uncles on, because Facebook, you know, it's older people. I don't use Facebook. Seeing it, so I had to download Facebook just to delete the story, just so, like, I wouldn't feel the scrutiny, the non-existent scrutiny. And even if the scrutiny is existent, whoever it's coming from, not my fucking business. You anyways. Like, I don't care to do that anymore. I don't care to live like that. And if I want to live my journey of authenticity, I have to allow myself to speak openly and freely and not worried about any of those people who perceive it negatively, because I'm so loved. I need to make sure my energy is focused on that aspect of my community, because I come from a beautiful group of progressive African people. Yes, they're not perfect. And yes, they weren't always this way, but they've come a long way. Y'all, the diaspora, oh, like, that was kind of the message I was going to post in my last video, is that, like, a lot of hate can come when you're raised from an immigrant community, immigrant parents, immigrant auntie and uncles that don't see life the way you do, because they grew up in a very different environment. But then at the same time, you forget that they're growing up with you, that they're also learning with you, that they become more accepting with you. And it's a beautiful feeling. I never thought I'd experience that. I always thought I was gonna have to be black sheep, but wow, I am loved. You're loved. Whoever you are, I hope those two people who have made you perceive yourself negatively don't take up too much of your brain space, especially in comparison to all the people who love you unconditionally. I can't stress that enough. And I'm gonna post this. I don't care if I'm my bonnet, makeup free, because I'm loved. That's all I got.